Ahoy! All hands ahoy! How you going out there? Welcome to the Hex Late Show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back for another episode of the Hex Late Show. We're back again on YouTube. Hope you're all doing wonderful out there, wherever you are in this big wide world of ours. And we've got our regular crew with us. Day 43. How you going, mate? What's going on?
What's going on, brother? What is going on?
Oh, mate, I got to get you to rate some of my Italian skills, because I was up at Noosa the other day having lunch up at the surf club, and I noticed that like all the ladies' fashion shops and everything like that, lots of beautiful young ladies up there getting along the street, and they for some reason the cafes put their chairs out like facing the street, and I was cruising along there and I had the windows down with a bit of a skinful, and I was like, "Testi di catro, puccia la madre, testi di catro," like that, out the window, handing out free Italian lessons. What do you reckon? Am I going to get a job,
mate? Yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know. How many Italians are in Noosa at the moment, mate?
Well, not many, but I don't know.
Not many?
Hey, why not? I reckon there's a market up there for. But you know what? They have like parties on the beach, like half naked women, 600 things around, live music, all the whole nine yards up there. It's beautiful. I'm not telling you where my secret surfing spot is yet. You have to earn that.
What's not to like about Noosa? Noosa's beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Have you ever had yourself a Betty's burger? Ever had yourself a $1 Betty's burger? Do they still have them?
Mate. They do. They're still there, mate. Here's Bluey. How you going, mate?
Guys. All right.
Bluey, you know all about Phrygian, wouldn't you? Hey?
About what?
How are we, guys?
Hey, Jexxa. What's going on?
Jexxa. What's going on? Hexland.
Yeah, you're going well, mate. Hey, did you manage to get a round of golf in uNrekt?
Oh, mate, I wrapped a few clubs around the tree in my time, but no, I was a bit busy for that. I was someone kindly left a couch on the beach, right on the dunes there, overlooking the ocean, and so I thought, oh, there's a good place for a nice little bit of slippery pussy.
That's where you scored your hole in one, mate.
Beaver on a hunk of wood. I was straight in there. Don't worry about that.
Beaver on a hunk of wood.
Hey. You going out there?
All jokes aside, you are a bit of a golfer, though, aren't you? You got a bit of a pretty handy with the clubs, haven't you?
I just got a bit of a hot head. Yeah, I can play.
Yeah. Did you have a handicap you were going around in? Or?
Yeah, I was down to probably about 11 or 12 at one stage.
That's pretty good going.
Never got into single figures, but I have a crack at most sports. I'm, back when I used to play cricket, rugby, and all those other things, cycling, different sports.
Yeah, going around on 11 handicaps, pretty good on the golf course. So I spend most of my time in the trees.
Yeah, well, it's like be the ball. Don't. But if you like in your mind, tell it not. You don't hit it in the water. You hit it in the water. So you got to try and get rid of the negative thoughts and only be positive about.
All right, so
focusing on.
I got a question. I got a question for you guys. I got a question. I want to know, right? I don't want you to dox yourself or anything like that, but who's got more Hex in T-shares than they do liquid? Put up your hand.
Hey, who's got more Hex in T-shares than they do?
Yeah, who's got more Hex staked in T-shares?
Oh, yeah.
Who's got more?
Yeah.
Put up your hand. Yep. Is that all of us?
Yep. This way, I think I can. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, like, are you guys stressed?
You know what it is? It's like being at Luna Park and you're on the ride, and it's like, but because we've been on the up and downs already a few times, it's like, oh yeah, okay, this is what happens. And for everyone who's kind of new jumping in, they're just like, ah.
So the first time you do the loop, you're waving and screaming and going like a banshee, but the second time around, you just enjoy it. You can put your hands up and have a bit of fun, hey? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, but I reckon. Like all these people getting angry at people for being angry on Twitter or whatever, get your anger out. Go for it. Be angry. Get it all. Just let it all out. You know what I mean? But
it has been quite entertaining actually on the Twitter.
Yeah.
What's been going on there?
What hasn't? Yeah, everyone's.
Hey, it's a great entry point for Hex, by the way, and I've been getting some people into Hex this week, and they're thoroughly enjoying the fact that we're down a bit. So hey, come on, it's horses for courses. You just got to
it's like everything. Perspective. It is, it's perspective exactly. So people coming in now, they're probably fist pumping. Like, this is the best buying opportunity we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
And I just looked at the chart before, like from a year ago, we're up 1,700%. You can't.
This is the 7th time. Yeah, that's right. So we've been through those dips 7 times.
I think what you're saying, uNrekt, is right, man. This just keeps happening. It's very volatile. This these new cryptocurrencies are very volatile.
It's speculation.
And that's what
they're pure markets. It's their pure markets, and so you have real emotion. People really reacting emotionally to the thing. They're not. So you get much bigger swings. Like, you get that psychological, that psychological graph that goes up and down. It's playing out like that. That's all it does. It goes up and then it dips down, and then people get angry, and then there's despair, then there's a bit of hope, and then it goes up again. And with Hex, it feels like it plays out even quicker.
So quick shout out to the area BA for the $5 tip too, by the way. The dip happened because Hex Late Show stopped eating golden gay times. So don't worry about that.
Bring the golden gay times back.
We'll be back in those anytime soon.
Day 43, you mentioned something there. But let's put a bit of perspective around it. You said it's because Hex is new, or these cryptocurrencies are new. But go back and look at the Bitcoin chart. So Bitcoin's been around 12 years now. Go have a look at the Bitcoin chart from 3 to 4 months ago. Have a look at the shape of the way the Bitcoin went up to its high and jiggled around at the top and then dropped down. And if you overlaid that on top of what Hex is doing now, it is exactly the same sort of pullback in terms of depth of pullback. What happened to that after it finished its pullback? And then that'll give you a really good insight as to where Hex is likely to go very soon.
Yeah, and the whole beauty about Hex is that you don't have to sweat it out. You just you stake and you're earning interest the whole time, and so it's
wonderful. It's the base. It's the best. It's the best crypto product. If you haven't heard of it, Hex.com is where you go to start, and just simply over there, you buy your ETH, you swap it for Hex, and then you stake your Hex, and it's as simple as that. There's a whole bunch of really good websites. I've noticed on part of my efforts with people around going to hexnoob.com, and down there on the calculators, there's the hexcalc.net, there's the hexstake.today, and the hexladder.web.app, and those things are really, really good. You can actually now, compared to what we had when we were starting out with our staking ladders and things, you've got a lot of wealth of knowledge and resource to draw from. The community based. This is the community that's done all this, by the way. It's not. There's no organisation. There's no company or anything like that with Hex. It's truly decentralized finance, and it's to me the one and only. It's the best crypto by a long shot. 100% uptime. Best performing asset of 2020 and 2021, in my opinion. And check the chart. Just check at the chart. But Jexxa, I got a question for you, mate, because I did have I had a little bit of a go bad, and I noticed that you put something in the chat about the out of gas thing. There's an ending stake at the moment is a bit monstrous, and then if you run out of gas, well, they just take your money, don't those Ethereum miners and the cheeky suckers?
I've reflected back on what I've done and what I think caused it. So basically what happened, for those of you who don't know, I had a stake that had been in the system pretty much since day 4 or 5, I think. Came to an end. Obviously, fees are through the roof.
$1,000 or something.
So I paid. So the fee I got given was 600 Aussie, so about 470 odd US dollars. Submitted the transaction, and then it just got bogged down. Fees just kept going up. Didn't look like it was ever going to process. So I done speed up in MetaMask, and I think that was my mistake. Is I used the speed up feature, and then eventually got picked up by the miners, but it actually ran out of gas. So the gas limit in that transaction wasn't enough, and bombed the transaction out before it finished.
I got a word to the Ethereum miners. Tested the capital.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but I agree.
It means dickhead.
Yeah. So basically,
there you go. Day 43 translates that for us. As
long and the short
Suck my dick, motherfucker. I thought it meant. That's right. Anyway. That's what I thought it meant.
So the long and the short of all that was I then had to go and pay an even more exorbitant fee to actually
I know.
finish the state.
That happened.
So that was
that happened. You weren't alone there, by the way. That you weren't alone there. That happened to one of my. Lucky I was just trying to actually start a stake for someone that I was onboarding, and I went back today and I double checked. This was on the weekend, and then I went back today to check on there if that stake had gone through, because I only just just when you're just trying to teach them, you send them a bit of hex and then you send them a bit of ETH and then you get them to try and stake that hex. So it was just like I was out by like $2, and I thought, I'll just lower it down a little bit, and then I came back today and it just went out of gas, and they took the $50. It was like, all righto. Anyway.
Yeah. So that's I think that's just not hex. That's everyone on.
That's just not cricket.
ETH. That's everyone on ETH at the moment. So what I've realised, well, not that it's a big realisation, but the only people really benefiting from ETH at the moment are people that are trading or moving it around on centralised exchanges. If you have to actually do anything in the ETH ecosystem that's not on an exchange, so that's doing something. Like the protocol intended it to be used, you're getting absolutely crunched.
Yeah,
exactly right. Well, that just says that says a lot too.
And that's also partially why that's also hurting the hex price, because we used to have this constant thing of smaller players buying it up. You know what I mean, and that buy pressure up. But now when it's such a big cost to do anything, like
that could
smaller buyers.
That actually might work to Hex's advantage.
You could also, because they're not selling either. Hey, it's much. Well, when you sell, you want to sell a big amount rather than
when you buy, you want to buy a bigger amount too.
And when you buy, you want to buy a big amount. But it's keeping a lot of people out of the system for that.
Yeah.
Pulse shouldn't be far away.
Yeah.
When's testnet version 2 should be coming out in the next week or so, from what I've heard. And then we can assume that there's a minimum of a month on testnet version 2, I think. I don't know why you would run it for less than a month. You need to give people time to...
Yeah, and it might be that we had that big price run-up because everyone was anticipating the fork, and so to get all of the duplicate coins. And as it goes on and goes on, people start getting nervous. And so the nervous people who are just holding liquid start going, bugger this, everything else is pumping, I'm going to sell. And so that creates a bit of a cascading thing, and because they don't see the fork happening immediately. But when the fork is actually announced, we'll see it probably the price shoot up again, you would imagine.
So have we discussed all the speculation around fork dates and things like that, or was that all this week? It's a bit of a blur at the moment. I don't know.
What's going on? I'm hoping you would tell us. Hopefully you guys will tell us.
Well, there's a lot of speculation, that's for sure.
Is there? Well, how good is speculation? I would imagine that 95% of it would be wrong. But that's all right. I think what my take on it is, ETH and Bitcoin or Bitcoin and ETH are pumping at the moment on pure speculation, and when they run out of steam, guess what? We're off to the track, ladies and gentlemen, and Hex will do the Hex thing. Here's Sammy.
Hey, Sammy.
Lovely.
How are you? Yeah, good. How are you guys? All right.
Yeah, all good.
How are you, Sammy?
Living the dream.
Yeah, I'm good. Good, thanks. What's going on? I heard just talking. I was watching for a bit. We got
all our favourites in the chat as well, Sammy. All your lads are all here. All our stalwarts that come and support the channel every week in, week out, and we do appreciate all you people out there in YouTube land. We know your names and we see who you are, and the comments and everything are all part of the show. So welcome everyone. In fact, I'll put the chat overlay in for a bit. Here we go. Sammy, what have you been doing? What's new? What's new in the zoo?
Went to the hairdresser finally, so that was fun, and catching up with friends. Went on a 2-hour walk tonight. Worked today, and just chilling out. What about you guys? What's been happening?
Just staring at the Hex chart, screaming.
I know, right? I know, guys. We've seen it all before. We watched it go to 1 cent, and we were so happy. So 20 cents, 17, 15 cents. It's okay. We're not bleeding,
Yep.
This is, and like Sammy said, this is something that has happened. It's actually happened multiple times.
7 times. This is the 7th time this has happened in Hex history. In the chart in the 2 years that we've had.
Yeah, so this chart won't show everything, but as you can see, as we look back, we can see that we have price run-ups, and then, for example, here we're hovering around the 0.7 of a cent mark, and then we go down, and we went all the way down to about 0.2 of a cent. Again, in November, we went all the way up to about 1.5 cents, and then we had a wick all the way down to that 0.2 of a cent again. But like I would say that you'd look at this one here, because I don't think anyone would have caught that bottom there, or not many at least. And then here you've got 0.28 of a cent. So I mean, this is something that has just continues to happen on the Hex chart. And you know, if you get scared and sell here, right, and then you get fudded out and you sell around here, well, then you're not around to make this top here, are you? And you're not around to make this top up here. And if you are, it means you've bought higher. So, I mean, if you're going to play the game of trading and selling here to buy back lower, that is a risky game. You know, what you could do is you could just stake and be earning extra Hex rather than trying to buy lower to get extra Hex, right? You could be staked and be earning trustless interest extra Hex and just like not worry about what the price is doing for a couple of years.
Can you offer some advice to this IB19 about staking advice? Is there any sort of, not financial, by the way, just entertainment reasons, but you know, what are some of the tactics now or strategies now for staking? Staking long, I mean, it's really, for me, longer pays better. That's all you can really say. It depends on your principle, doesn't it? So the minimum would be, at the moment, I don't know, $400 or $500. That might be a lot of money for people.
It's very difficult to weigh up how much money. I mean, gas fees, it's killing a lot of things at the moment.
It is. Yeah,
so it's very hard. It's going to be an individual thing. I don't think I've got advice apart from just look at the situation. If the gas fees are too much for you, you might just have to keep an eye on those gas fees. Sometimes they do drop down under 100, and you can maybe get a better price.
It was only about $50 a stake the other day. I did one the other day. It was only about $50. So I don't know. It was like an 18-month.
To start stakes, it's the same cost anytime. It's ending the stake that obviously gets more expensive. So, yeah, like Dave 43 says, it depends on how big a stake you're trying to do as to whether and how long a game you're planning on playing. Like if you're planning on doing things 5, 10, 15 years, it's going to do it now and it's going to end up on Pulse anyway, and you'll be earning. If you stake now, you'll be earning interest on Hex and interest on Pulse at the same time. When it finally launches, you will have earned all that interest as well.
I wouldn't even really look too much towards like when the Pulse fork is happening. I just look to like how long do I not need access to that money, and the longer the better. And setting up a ladder, you know, like so it really depends on what your individual circumstance is, but ladders are really the way to go.
Yep.
And you can actually do that. I believe you can do ladders on Staker, and it does it in one go, so it's a bit cheaper on the Staker app.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just one transaction, is it?
Yeah, it's a more expensive transaction, but yeah, it's more gas efficient. Yeah.
Yep.
So if you want to do a 10-year ladder once every 10, a stake every 10 years, it's better to go and do it on Staker app, hey? In terms of that.
Yeah, I think they've got more efficient way of doing it gas-wise, yeah. And apparently there's, I don't know what mechanism they use, but they don't have failed transactions.
Yeah. Yeah, so Commonwealth Bank is going to be offering crypto now.
Yeah, amazing, hey?
And it's not part of their share. Like they've got two apps. One is for shares and the other one is for their normal banking. It's for their normal banking.
Yeah, their mobile app, yeah.
Wow.
And they're buying their Bitcoin. They're not buying it in Australia or their crypto in Australia. They're buying it overseas.
Okay, so
wow, it's amazing. You know, it's. I mean, in 10 years, imagine the size of the crypto market. I mean,
a lot of people are in crypto now in Australia, aren't they?
Well, that does fully legitimised it. Like the Commonwealth Bank now, you can get crypto at Commonwealth Bank. I mean,
well, it's not going away.
There's good and bad in this. I actually, it's good that someone's mentioned that because I wanted to have a quick chat about a few things related to this. So obviously, I think all of us that have been in crypto for a while, we knew the day would come where these guys were probably going to jump on board and they want a slice of the pie. They're seeing billions and billions of dollars move around in this market, and they literally are locked out of it at the moment. They don't have access to it. So it was inevitable that this was going to happen. So there's good and there's bad with this. Obviously, there's a mainstream adoption effect where it now legitimizes Bitcoin and puts it in the front of a lot of everyday Australians in this instance in their face. But along with this is going to come regulation like you've never seen before. So I don't even know if Commonwealth.
Well, actually, like I've actually, because like Jexxa, you posted that that video that Coin Bureau made.
Yeah.
And so I've just basically gone through. I went through that a second time, and I just kind of took a few notes on it. Yep. And it is actually. This is what you were what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's what this will lead into. Yeah.
Like, do you want me to just go through the notes that I've taken? Because it turned out to be quite a lot. And for anyone who wants to check it out, Coin Bureau, he does a really. His name is Guy. He does a really good breakdown of the Financial Action Task Force, the FATF, and they're basically an intergovernmental task force that's comprised of like 40 countries, including the US and the UK and Australia and stuff, and 30 organizations, which include the World Bank and the IMF. So these guys are basically the people who are going to come up with the regulations, or they want to come up with the regulations, right? And they released their recommendations, and their recommendations essentially are, well, in a way, they're what the rules are going to be, but it's more like a wish list for them. But anyway, like they started off just by they started off just as they wanted to implement anti-money laundering rules and regulations, but now it's expanded into the integrity of the whole financial system. And so what they did in 2019 is they said there are these things called VASPs, which is a virtual asset service provider, and they were a bit vague in defining who the VASPs were, and there was all this conjecture about whether developers would be VASPs and all this kind of thing. But and people haven't really, and they had this travel rule, which has basically meant that all of these VASPs, which are really just like exchanges and wallet providers and stuff, have to basically, like, anytime more than $1,000 is sent, they have to record it and note it down and have all the information on it, kind of thing, right? And it was a bit ridiculous, and because the rules were quite vague, no one really implemented them. And so now they've come out and they've said, right, this is what it's gonna be. But like, so what they said, so they said a few interesting things. One of the interesting things was about stable coins, which they can kind of considered like, well, they said there's no actual clear legal or technical category for what a stable coin is. And it's actually just a marketing term. And so what they're going to do is they're just going to throw all they can at like trying to get countries to regulate everything. And so they just like issued all of these kind of wishes that they want countries to do this and they want countries to do that. But there are some really good things within it. For instance,
we're within a lot of hot cock.
Well, I think what they admitted was that if something is decentralized, they're not going to be able to do anything about it.
Yep.
And that's really the key takeaway for me out of all of that.
Yep.
It's like for something like Hex, which doesn't have an admin key, and there's nobody you can actually go after. And for something like liquid loans, if they ever have their stable coin and it's no admin key contract, there's nobody that governments are going to be able to regulate. And so they basically just admitted that, well, we're not going to be able to go after anyone, but you should look at it and you should try to go after someone.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Sammy.
Yeah, darling.
Hey, did you see our wonderful thumbnail this week?
That was awesome. A really
from
good
the
one.
Alchemist Jess, and she's a Hexagon too, boys. So you better tidy up.
Was that Jess on the
No, it's
thumbnail?
not Jess. It's one of her good friends who's little bit shy, but is a Hexagon.
Oh,
She's
cute.
a little bit shy about going in the community, but we picked up Alchemist Jess. She's a graphics designer, and she's really doing a good job helping us out with some of the artwork. And that's from the ladies' Discourse, mate. That's from the ladies' Discourse.
Thanks a lot, Jess. We really appreciate that.
Very nice.
Great work.
Guys, I want to show you my business cards that I got made. Look. Can you see them?
Are they? That's not a business card.
Yes, it is. And
You
look
call
at
that a business card?
Look at the other side.
Right. Really?
And it works. And I got car stickers, car magnets. Look.
Oh, whack them on. I'll tell you what.
You gonna put them on your new Lambo?
Yeah, when I get my
sorry to tangent off there, Bluey. You got more to talk about with this banks or this?
Yeah, I've got a few things to say. So, like, the other thing that they've done is they've allowed like peer-to-peer transactions. And so that pretty much. So once if it's decentralized and it's peer-to-peer, like we're pretty much okay. What they want to try to do is try to shove this new thing, this new crypto system into their existing kind of definitions and frameworks. And so they want to have these VASPs and they want to be able to regulate them. But the list of regulation and the list of information that they want these people to provide, it's just like it's the same thing with with all of this data collection. They're just going to get loads and loads and loads of data and make it much more labor intensive for themselves to try to monitor it and control it. And it's just like they're shooting themselves in the foot and they don't fully understand the technology.
Yeah, I don't think you understand how much of that already happens. So there's you've got obviously chain analysis who do a lot of that for
sure they can
Coinbase
but not on a big scale. Like they can do it to certain if they can go in and it's still labor intensive and they've got all that software and they can track stuff and they can go and find people to do certain things and all that kind of stuff. But they haven't got it on a massive scale because there's just too much information.
That will cut. But what they're saying is it's recorded so we can go back in time.
But that's
yeah. Which the blockchain
already there anyway. It's already on the blockchain.
The blockchain already does that, so that's fine. But now we're looking at doing that and associating KYC wallets with that data. So they'll use the VASPs as that endpoint to collect all the KYC, and that first hop from the exchange out to their wallets that's a big thing. Like they can't prove anything from that point on, but that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And that's what they're trying to do is shoehorn that in under the guise of anti-money laundering.
But they've actually admitted it. Like in one place they say where it is not possible to identify a legal or natural person with control or sufficient influence over a DeFi arrangement, there may not be a central owner-operator that meets the definition of a VASP.
Correct. Yeah. So that's important for DeFi projects, but DeFi projects that have a team running a front end that is critical to the service.
They could go after them.
Yeah.
But there's another place where they also said they're not going to go after developers. Like they said, where it has not been. Oh, no, hang on.
No, that's true. No, you're right. Developers are off the hook.
Yeah.
But if there's a company or a team that can be pinned down, as being having a major influence over that protocol or service.
But you know what it is as well is they just They kept handballing.
Pushes them underground.
Yeah, but it's not even that. They kept handballing all of this stuff up to the countries. They're saying, this is what we want you to do. This is what we want you to do. This is what we want you to do. But they haven't given them like the actual way to do it. They're just saying you should do this and you should do this and you should do this. So, and the list is so long. So it's like, to me, it's just they've shifted all of the Like, we want you to control it. Go and do it. But it's like, how, you know?
Yeah, some things can't be regulated. Like you can put in regulation, but if you can't enforce it, then what happens is that regulation does not get adhered to. You need to be able to enforce regulation. So yeah, that's the with DeFi. If they try and go after teams, what the teams will just do by default is they will not be public. They will just be anonymous contributors to the project. They'll know each other, but they'll be anonymous. So
and also they'll actually have to be forced to make no admin key contract.
Have to be DeFi. Yeah,
have to be real DeFi.
Yep.
I mean, and at the moment that's fine for us. You know, that's perfect for us. In fact, that's good because that pushes that into like to being real DeFi.
And let's remember what we're in crypto for. I mean, we like GAINZ and all of that, but we also do want to replace the shitty parts of the legacy system with good stuff that's more efficient and doesn't have middlemen. You know, that's what we want.
I can guarantee
ideally.
this is less about anti-money laundering and more about control of the financial system.
Absolutely. The anti-money laundering is a joke. I mean, first of all, that all came in from the Patriot Act. So that happened after 9/11. And it was under the guise of we have to track all of this terrorist funding and all that kind of thing. And they haven't. They haven't been tracking it all because terrorists don't use cryptos because cryptos are incredibly traceable. It's a public database. Like they use American dollars. That's what they use. They use their system.
Yeah.
So, and they use banks, like we found out in the Royal Commission from Australia. You know what I mean? Like, so
I would go as far as to say these policies are anti-privacy. And
they want to be. They're saying that it's bad. Like anything to do with any privacy is bad.
It's bad, yeah.
But they're not saying what you can do about it.
No. So the thing that I took away from the privacy side. So they're really trying to force people into the open, and they're going to make it extremely hard for you to have privacy within your financial life. And the way they're going to do that is if you at any point in time touch a segment of the market that is a VASP or something like that is getting monitored, that VASP will be required to blacklist your address if it's gone anywhere near a mixer or a tumbler or a privacy coin.
But you know what they also said? They have to record everything over $1,000 and anything significant under $1,000. So they're just like they want to record everything. They're just biting off way more than they can chew.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a massive land grab.
And Jexxa, and Jexxa, even with that, like if they go ahead and do that, they're just going to work out new ways of getting around it.
Oh yeah,
you bridge across to another network. You know, people will mix in another network and then bridge back. And then it's
well
like,
out of the tube. Yeah.
It's like one of those things. It's like whatever because it's DeFi, whatever hurdles that are put up, you know, it's just going to prove they're going to be chasing and they're going to be wasting inordinate amount of resources chasing these things that they can never catch.
Yeah.
So it's not worth it. They should just focus on being better governments than making shitty regulation. That's exactly right. It's not going to work.
And, great point. You know? Great point, Adrian. That's awesome.
Do you know what
I agree with that.
What this will also encourage is the parallel system. That will end up, and it's already evolving now, is you've got the regular legacy finance system. We're part of what is now this parallel finance system. And the further they try to, limit the use of it, the bigger and stronger it's going to get. And it'll get to the point where you probably won't need the legacy finance system to do things. There'll be...
No.
You can
as soon as the store of value goes more and more into crypto and becomes vastly more into crypto, then all of a sudden those people are holding crypto. They'll want crypto solutions for a payment system, and so they'll start using Bitcoin Cash or whatever is a better payment system. You know.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, just want to say, even with normal banks now, the anti-money laundering laws have AUSTRAC who track any payments over $10,000.
Correct. Yeah.
So if they're talking about 1,000, that's been pretty lenient, because you can imagine that if regulation comes into place, they'll want to see, I mean, something similar. So, you know, it's like $1,000 transactions. That's a lot of tracking, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, not only that, but they also want the VASPs to regulate each other.
Yeah. You got to check up on what the other VASP is doing.
Why?
So they don't have to do it all.
So they want to make business. They want to make business pseudo tax collectors. Like
essentially. Yeah.
VST.
That's
what
what
it
it's
all like
Oh, good luck with that. That's
really the basic theory is I've got a chicken and I want to sell my neighbour the chicken, then that's our private deal and no one else knows about it, and keep the bank's business out of it.
Hey, speaking of a lot of hot cock, have you guys seen this stuff here? You can get it from the Chemist Warehouse called Raging Bull.
Oh, what does that do?
Well, it's got all the root extract and bloody Coca Cabana and Velvet Bean and all this stuff, and you rub it on your nuts, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Works.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm meeting satisfied customers over here. I love it.
Hang on, is it good just because you rub it on your nuts? Can you could you just rub anything on your nuts? It'd be really good as well. Or is it just that?
Get down to Chemist Warehouse. Get down there and get some of that Raging Bull.
I'm gonna get some.
Yeah. You got it. You got nuts, Sammy.
No, I haven't got any yet, but I'll go down tomorrow and get some. Rub some on my nuts.
I love it. Love it.
What have you been doing on Reg Pirate? You been busy playing the fields, doing some stuff?
Yeah. Play on the field.
How's the weather up there?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's fantastic.
As always.
Perfect one day, beautiful the next.
Oh,
I was in some fairy pools. I was out there lazing in the sunny day. The waves are crashing in. I was lying in a fairy pool, just wondering and dreaming, and just far away from all the TV screens and computers and whatnot to do with all this. But yeah,
lovely.
Otherwise, is what it is. I think that's a marvellous opportunity for people now. If they're looking at Hex for the first time, the entry point now is best it's been for a long time. Because I bought a fair bit a couple of months ago, and gee whiz, I was very surprised how little amount that I got for my sizable amount of capital. But yeah. Anyway, that's all I've been doing.
You know what? I mean, look at the gas. The gas price.
It is
a lot of projects on the blockchain, and you got Vitalik Buterin saying, you know, that it should cost less than a cent to do transactions, or 5 cents, whatever he said. And it's costing people hundreds. I've seen people say, I had $500 and I was going to buy Hex, and they're going to charge me $200 gas. I mean, it's just a disappointment. It just puts people off. Even spending from wallet to wallet, there's still $100.
I know. They can never compete like a bank account. But any bank account, you can just go account to account instantly, and then like to send money from your own account to another. It's like, and if you don't have enough ETH lined in your account, and you're short to run a transaction, then they whack you again just to top it up so you can run the code or do whatever. It's crazy.
I was thinking about how this is going to play out into the future. Like we're going to have PulseChain come along. That's going to be run by 33 computers around the world, right? And that's going to have super cheap fees at the start. Mm-hmm. Then as more and more people start using it, it's going to probably go the same way as what Ethereum is now, where, there's less and less coins over time, like because their coins are being burnt over time, and because more and more people are starting to use it, eventually that has to start going up. Whether it takes 2 years or 5 years or 7 years or 10 years, we have no idea, but it'll eventually have to. It will also eventually go the same way. But at that point, like what will probably happen, I'm imagining, is that there'll be another fork, because if this has already been done and they've just taken 30 computers to be able to provide all of that economic pay system, then when that gets too sort of expensive for people to use, another one will have to come off of that and it'll be like another fork, some sort of fork of PulseChain.
Yeah, I don't know. I think once you get that multi-chain working a bit better, and we're seeing that's getting better and better, where all the EVM chains are firing up, so all the Ethereum compatible chains are firing up, and it's getting easier to move between those now. The relays and the bridges and all that are getting better. And if you have it might get to the stage where those, to move a transaction like, I don't know, Tether or something like that, which is consuming a lot of resources, does that sit on its own EVM or something like that? And you bulk of the transaction.
It depends on social consensus, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it depends where people will go. Like, that's the whole point of him copying every single ERC20, because he wants that social consensus. He wants everyone to come over and use it, because that's what really determines the value of a network.
That, imagine if you actually, in forking Ethereum to create PulseChain, it actually did become the new Ethereum. Now, I don't think that's likely to happen, because there's so many people with vested interest in Ethereum. But just if it got that much adoption that everyone did actually leave Ethereum and came across onto it, not because of the free token.
As people would leave,
I think we're going to see,
and it will be cheaper on Ethereum. So
yeah.
Sorry.
I think what we're going to see with Pulse is everyone who's got the potential of getting an ERC20 or a PRC20 on the Pulse chain, they're going to get marketed to. And it's when I say marketed, it's going to be the Pulse community going out to communities saying, hey, did you know that you guys have an airdrop?
Yep. Lost him.
What are you eating that big for?
Did you kick him off, Pirate? No,
he's dropped out.
All right.
Look at that. Ned Kelly was a gentleman, ladies.
He was on a roll then too.
Yeah.
Where'd he go? He dropped out.
It was just about to tee off.
Right.
So look, it would be very. Here we go.
Back in town.
Marshmallow. Marshmallow and the Rocky Road, keeping them together, keeping them apart. Beautiful.
Keep going, day 43. Everyone, you had everyone on the edge of their seats.
Yeah, so I think the Pulse community, we're going to be going out and going to the ERC20, like all the different tokens communities, and saying, hey guys, you guys have an airdrop on PulseChain. Did you know that? And whether they're for it or not, the people who own the tokens are going to be interested in that. Whether or not the people who designed the token or whatever. So I think, the systematic going through all of those, I mean, there's going to be thousands on Ethereum, and we're just going to go through all of the big ones to start with. And, people are going to come across and try it out for sure. For sure.
So
and it's not going to happen all at once.
That's right. Hex Machines comment. At the moment, there's probably a lot of controversy, and people will be, they won't be quick, but the hardcore Ethereum guys will not be quick to come over and try it. But if they can stay there and play in their sandpit. But if everyone else comes across and says, oh, this is actually pretty good, and what I had here is working over here, and we start to get a bit of momentum, because
even if they just say, I want to go and dump my stuff just to get the free money.
Yeah, that's right. They're going to use the network. So,
people like airdrops. Airdrops.
Yeah.
So even if the mods don't like it and they don't let you say it in the Telegram chat, you can tag it in Twitter. It's people are going to know about it. They're going to go check it out for sure.
Yeah, and don't stop going into other communities and talking about it. If you get booted, you get booted, but at least you've done your best. I mean, I've been into the SHIB Telegram group and mentioned it in there, and they had a prominent guy do a tweet on Twitter, so I dropped a bit of info in there. So it's all about awareness. I think as soon as you get enough of a wave come through where people realize that, hey, there is a bunch of my money sitting over here, that's going to be the big thing that forces exchanges to actually support the network because they'll owe everyone their tokens at that point. And I can't see them getting away with not giving people their free airdrops. I'll be very surprised if people let them do that. But who knows? If we get enough eyeballs on it.
Yeah, I remember the lead up to the Bitcoin Cash fork, and there was so much, like, at first, like, no exchanges were going to support it.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they just, one did and then another did, and they had to kind of follow each other.
Yeah, it's funny. There wasn't that much support for BSV though, was there?
No, that was much harder to get.
I think Binance actually listed it, and then they got sick of Craig Wright banging on and pulled it. So yeah.
Why is Hex being so seem to be like the fly in the ointment for a lot of the big exchanges? Why is it that the Australian Financial Review is at pains to try and exclude Hex from any of the narrative that they're putting out with this Commonwealth Bank thing? And it just seems that like they're ignoring the elephant in the room. Like,
they're 12 years behind, mate. They're literally 12 years behind.
Yeah. They'd rather take Alex Saunders' advice than put Hex on the Commonwealth Exchange.
But in saying that, so it's taken them 12 years to get around to realizing that this shit's not going away, and if they want to play
the way they're getting their crypto, the Commonwealth Bank, they're buying it off a foreign exchange, as I understand it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't dig into it that much.
So they're not all they're just.
It's not EFTs, is it? It's not EFT crypto, is it?
I'm not sure who they're getting it off. I might have.
I mean EFTs as in like people that can't be bothered doing their own research and finding out and buying their own.
But I'm pretty sure that Australia
buy shares.
Australia said there could be was it an Ethereum or a Bitcoin ETF?
Yeah, I vaguely recall seeing
Bitcoin ETF. Remember I posted in our chat.
And it's based on the future. It's a futures ETF, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a spot, yeah. Which I think kind of don't really help, to be honest.
Anything America does, Australia follows. Have you noticed?
Oh shit! Sorry. Yeah, there we go.
So yeah,
what else?
We want to circle back because when we first started, there was a lot of talk about timing around Pulse, and we didn't address a few of those questions that were.
Yeah, there's been questions in the chat. And shout out to the Discourse Syndicate Network. As you know, we're streaming every Tuesday on the Discourse Syndicate Network, and we love those guys. And there's an open invitation for anyone at the moment in the DS Insiders. In particular, I know the highest of stakes documentary makers are involved with the DS, and we've been requested. They have asked me if they can come on the show, and I said yes, they can. And
I've got a few questions for them. So are they coming on or not?
Well, we've left it open. They said they're available, but look, if they do come in, we'll talk to them. But I haven't had a confirmation from them. That's all. I was a bit salty in there today.
No.
For a change.
I go in there like a bull in the china shop. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Mess it up and then go away, and just like a seagull flies in, shits on everything, and then goes away.
True.
No, it's just been. I don't know. I'm like age fluid. I go in there and behave like a 15-year-old.
You do that everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, chat.
So
if you're in chat, put how long you think it's going to be until Pulse launch, and then we can have a quick chat about it.
Well, I was listening to Hexy Bastard and Crypto Coffee this morning, and Crypto Coffee was saying if you go to GitHub, I haven't confirmed this, that's why I'm saying where I got the information. If you go to GitHub, most of the issues at the moment are solved. And it's only a few spelling things here and there that haven't been.
Yeah, so the chat, which probably most people listening to this tonight have probably heard the chat that was from the dev that was in the PulseChain chat. And he was basically saying, from their point of view, he's ready to rock from a validation point of view and the network and the nodes and things like that. So that doesn't necessarily mean that everything else is lined up ready to go, but the core part that he's working on, he felt comfortable with. And then we had the subsequent cryptic tweet from Richard, which was something along the lines of, I'll paraphrase here, for a long time, people have been asking me my birth time, emphasis on the birth time. And then he put his birth date and the time of, 11:18 p.m., which has obviously caused a bit of a stir in the community, a bit of speculation.
I guess he could have put 21:18, but he didn't.
21:18, yeah.
Well, that's PM, yeah.
Not
Sorry, 23:18, but he didn't. Yeah.
Yep. So people have sort of jumped to a conclusion and said that it could be the birth time could be a PM could stand for Pulse Mainnet. The birth time could mean the first block, and the 11:18 could mean 18th of the 11th in US time format.
Wow.
Which is what, 9 days from now? Do we think Pulse Mainnet is going to launch 9 days from now?
No.
I don't know.
Nope.
Probably not.
I think that's when Hex.
No.
I thought that meant that's when Hex will
no.
pump again. That's when we get the reversal. We
But
get the
I-
trend reverse and bang.
And I don't think
Far away.
Richard Hart's not a Stanley Kubrick.
What?
A Stanley Kubrick.
What's up? I don't get the
Wow.
reference, but
Stanley Kubrick just had intense kind of like little details in his films of all
Yep.
that kind of stuff that people
little
read.
Easter eggs and stuff. And,
But all over the shop, yeah, like unbelievable ones. Yeah.
I mean, it was a cryptic thing to throw out there in a tweet, but whether it means anything or not, who knows? And then we had a
Well,
few
there's
other
always-
people rev that speculation and put a bit of fuel.
It would
on
make
the
more.
fire.
It would make more sense if he did it at the London meetup, which is on the 2nd of December.
Is anyone
announce-
going?
Announce Pulse.
Is any of you guys or any of the chat going to London? What an epic
I don't
holiday
even-
that will be.
I think even if we wanted to, we couldn't at the moment.
No, you can. I looked at it, but it was too much paperwork. It was like, come on, mate. Like, it's hard enough to organise a trip and get your visa and all the flights and everything without all the pandemic nonsense that you've got to do. I mean, I understand safety first and all that, but like, I don't know. I like it. I like it here. I don't really want to go anywhere. We got the best beaches and the best. All the girls getting around in their scantily clad now. It's heating up. It's wonderful. It's like
It's nice to have a choice though, uNrekt. That's the
it's variety of life, isn't it?
It'd be awesome to go meet the Hexicans.
Or it's more.
Yeah.
Have a beer at the pub and some fish and chips.
Anyway, but I'm sure that will be a great event, and I'm sure that will be an awesome thing, because there's no substitute for face to face. I know we do these streams and we sort of get to know each other and we have our little chats, and it's really great. I love all you guys. I love the Hex community chats and everything else. But there's something about face to face that you don't get from the computer, the online world version of it.
My guess is that Richard Hart wants to get it out ASAP.
Yeah,
And
I think
he's
from
basically going to wait until the devs give it the green light.
I think from a timing perspective, like, we're getting pretty late in the cycle. Assuming the cycle plays out the way it has in the past, we're getting towards the last inning of this bull run. So I would like to think he'd be pretty keen to get it out before that comes to a close. Just from before everyone goes to sleep.
But all that cycle stuff, like, does it really play out? Like,
It doesn't. It does from a pricing point of view, but it doesn't stop teams building in the background and things getting done in the background. And in actual fact, a lot happened over the last bear market that we're enjoying all the fruits from this bull market. So all the DeFi stuff, the NFT stuff, like that was all born during the down cycle, during the 1.5, 2 years where we were in the doom and gloom and no one in media was talking about it. It was just gone off the radar completely. But that's when all the teams were building out. It also sorted the bad teams out from the good teams, and the guys that couldn't sustainably do their development because their tokens had dropped in price and they couldn't keep selling them on the market and couldn't keep funding development, have washed out all those bad projects as well. So the guys that were able to buckle up and keep developing and keep building, that's why we've got a lot of the cool stuff we have this time around. So yeah, but I think it would be nice to see it launch very soon before this cycle comes to an end.
When do you say cycle, Jexxa, what do you mean?
Just if we're going by, at the moment, everything is still led by Bitcoin in terms of pricing cycles, because Bitcoin drives a lot of the sentiment and price in the market. And if we're working on the 4-year halving cycles from Bitcoin, then obviously we get to that point in time where we've got to go through another one of those 4-year halving cycles. So if you're familiar with that, you'll know how the prices worked historically for the last 3 cycles, halving cycles with Bitcoin. But I think that's going to have a dampening effect moving forward, because the halving event is getting less impactful, because the market cap of Bitcoin is getting a lot bigger and it takes more economic energy to move things around. You've got different investors coming in now, different breed of investors coming in. Literally the halving event is tapered down in time by design. So you would like to think that has less impact moving forward over the whole market. But I think we've probably got at least another one of those cycles to go through before we really aren't getting before Bitcoin isn't really driving everything. As soon as we get something flip Bitcoin, everything changes. From that point of view.
Oh, well, it's only a matter of time.
There's a question for you. What do we think is going to flip Bitcoin? I think we all know the answer. But what do we think is going to flip Bitcoin?
Well, I think
is it going to be Ethereum? I can't see it being Ethereum.
No, they're both basket casing, in my opinion. No, they are. I mean, as Jexxa pointed out, the volume is all on exchanges. It's all on trading, speculation. It's not on actual usefulness. Like doing anything on Ethereum is a pain in the ass. I don't even want to turn my computer on anymore because of it. It just gives me you know what I mean? Like, I've got better things to do than sit there and wait for transactions and pay through the nose for it. Even though it's like might only be a small amount of what I'm trading, but like it's not. It's the principle of the matter. You know, it's like it's just sound business fundamentals. It's like impossible to scale when they're just like, I don't know, they almost feel, it always feels like the miners are the rent seekers now, the middlemen. I don't know, is that right? Or
I would say up until recently, Bitcoin hasn't had anyone in a position to challenge it as a superior store of value.
So Hex is, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. Up until now, nothing's had the ability to chase it.
It's way better.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. That might take a little while for that to come through.
I know Bitcoin people love Bitcoin. And all that.
Yep.
So what?
But Hex does need a better substrate. We're struggling on this substrate right now.
Yeah.
So that's what Pulse is about.
And that's what Pulse is about.
Yeah. And that's why I think Ethereum won't flip Bitcoin is, hey, obviously it's a bit broken at the moment. It's a lot broken. But there's also multiple contenders that can do what Ethereum can do or will do.
What about some of the other blockchains then, Jexxa? I mean, when you say like
so Pulse is obviously a big one of those.
Yeah.
But then you've got all your others, your Matics, Avalanches, all those guys coming through as well, and they are starting to take some mind share away from Ethereum, especially if you want to do things on chain. So I think that's going to be really hard for ETH to be that top contender or to try and pip Bitcoin. Because it's doing something different and it's got a lot of competitors. They're trying to drive value into the token on ETH, but what that is causing is massive fees.
Right. Which is that's a showstopper in a lot of cases, particularly for like new investors, people that are just like, because that's what I like. What I really like about Hex is, to me, it's like it's like be your own bank, and you can use it like a savings account. It's almost a completely different mindset or culture to what crypto was before.
Yep.
Just as an observer, because you can actually get control. It's your money, and it's your right to invest that money or save it. And in the old days, when it was all sort of like gold and silver and paper dollars and things like that, you'd put it under the mattress, or you'd have to give it to the bank or something like this to save it. But like, it's so hard to save money in a regular bank account now. I don't know why. I've never been able to. I mean, I have saved money, of course, but like, I've found it difficult to, when it's in the bank there, just to unless you lock it up in a term deposit, it's difficult to. There's always something that you want to take it out and use it for, or do something with, or what have you. But whereas
it's also hard to save money when it's all uNrekt. It's hard to save money when they're inflating it at 40%.
Yeah, that's right.
A year.
Is it 40%? That much? I know that's terrible.
US dollar, I think, was inflated by 38% last year. Was it this year or last year? I don't know exactly.
I don't know the exact dates. Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
So it's hard to save money when everything's going to cost more when they're doing that.
Yeah. Just a Morgan Hakes comment. Yeah, mate. Oh, that's I don't know. Like, I agree. Just jump on this comment here from Morgan Hake about buying in. Like, the best way, and this is something that I always say to people as well, if you don't want to study charts, you don't want to do trading or all that, all you can do is just, when you've got just dollar cost average, has been proven as a better method of trying to pick and buy dips or trying to time the market. Timing the market, unless you're like, I don't know, Bobby Ackroyd or something like that, it's easy. If I can do it, anyone else can do it. In my opinion, just dollar costing is the way to go when you're scaling into the product of Hex. And don't worry about the price. Don't worry about you got to take all the factors. There's so many factors or variables you got to take in, but dollar cost averaging seems to be the thing that works. It worked for me.
Pulse is going to make it
as well.
Pulse is going to make it so much better. It's going
to be so much better on Pulse. Yeah, well, we're all dreaming of that day.
All the money that celebration. When we're on Pulse, the money that you put in to buy Hex is almost in its entirety going to be going to Hex. There'll be basically no fees, essentially, compared to what we're used to. It will be basically no fees, So it's gonna change Hex a little bit. It's gonna bring it back to the way it was, when it launched.
Man, we're going to be able to onboard so much more easily when it's
absolutely.
So with Hex, it's two things. It's obviously Ethereum's not a great substrate, as Day 43 said, but I've put in a little. If you want to share my screen as well, this is something I think is more important.
Yes.
It's about awareness.
Yes.
Awareness. And so this is great to see. We know Robert Kiyosaki, and you know him from Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yes.
So he's been on streams with Dollar Cost Crypto, and I can't remember who else was on the stream. I think it was Crypto Cultivate or something on that particular stream. So he's aware of Hex. Gary, Funding Jim, he's a
friend of the show.
He's a friend of the show.
Great supporter of the channel. Yep.
Now let's have a look at. So this is real Kiyosaki. He's got 1.8 million followers that are. That have yet to be fully exposed to Hex, and there's a whole around Robert. There's a whole industry that work closely together in the way that they market their own businesses and their products to customers around the world. So Harry Dent, a raft of other guys, property guys, share guys, they move in very similar circles, and they leverage off of each other's databases. And
they're smart people.
Hang on. Didn't Richard Hart wreck Harry Dent on the stream?
No.
I think that was actually I think that was a really good chat that they had. Like, Harry came out really hard, thinking he could put Richard in his place, and Richard was pretty calm and collected. And by the end of it, Harry's taking copious notes. I know for a fact that Harry and Robert, they use the same some of the same marketing teams for their events. So the more these guys,
and George Gammon as well is in all of that, isn't he?
Yeah,
and he's a really pretty intelligent guy. You'd
Yep.
think that if these people had Hex explained to them, and if they understood it, they're going to jump all over it. You'd think.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I know. I know a lot of the people that come through from those events. They're usually an older age bracket, not impatient like we see the 20-year-olds are that just want to make $1 million overnight.
Daddy, I want a pony. I want it now.
That's it. These guys understanding how to have a longer-term outlook. They're looking to set up things for their families to pass it down onto their kids and their grandkids. And Hex is one of the best vehicles for them to do that. Locks it away, gets some interest in a highly appreciating sector with cryptocurrencies. It is just absolutely gold for
and it's
demographic
a thing. Like you start getting those guys talking about it, and all of a sudden, Raoul Paul has to have another look at it. And
that's right. Yeah. Yep. So I think that was, don't underrate just a simple tweet like that. So,
no, that's big deal. That's a big deal.
That's
that
amazing.
Deal.
That's
man.
That's huge.
Shout out to Gary too and Funding Jim. We love the bloke. He's really doing it.
Guy Gary, isn't he?
He's a high flyer now, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's doing the rounds.
He's trying. It's also just really interesting watching all the different ways people are trying to get the word out. You know what I mean? And some people are making music videos, calling people furus. Some people are just, getting in the ear of certain, key influencers. Some people are. Gary was also organising this thing out to Ukraine. Helicopters and stuff. It's just like, what?
That looked tasty as well.
There's going to be some really interesting ways that people get the word out. Hey, as more and more people get on and get rich and want to get the word out.
Yep, definitely. I think you'll be a little bit surprised about who comes out as knowing about Hex or is involved in Hex, and I think we're starting to see a few of those personalities.
Yeah, there's a lot of American football players, hey?
Yeah, yep.
And Richard Hart mentioned, what's his name? He was going to have an interview with Fares Zahidi, the UFC coach. So
George St. Pierre's coach.
Yeah, George St. Pierre's coach.
Yep. Jeez. So we're getting a lot of connections into different sporting codes and industries, and so
there's that soccer dude who's starting up a podcast, hey, because there's certain soccer teams where apparently they have WhatsApp chats about Hex with each other and stuff. So it's going to come in waves.
Yeah. Pulse is going to bring a lot of eyes to Hex too. It already has.
Yeah.
And it'll bring a lot more. There's already nearly 51,000 people in the Telegram group, which hasn't even launched yet. And Hex has got, I don't even think 40,000 yet.
All right. So an interesting fact on that one, Sammy. So when Pulse Sacrifice ended, I think there was about 30,000 people in the Pulse Telegram chat. So since then, another 20,000 people have joined who could not buy Pulse.
Wow.
Who couldn't sacrifice for it. Oh, there's a few people that are having a crack now, but they shouldn't be. But they should
just buy Hex and stake it.
That's right.
Let's throw this disclaimer out there, guys. If you hear that you can sacrifice for Pulse, you can, but do not. Okay, because you're not getting a good deal.
Unless you just want to chuck $20 at it to make sure that you're in that set for possible airdrops and know that it's a big lottery ticket.
I agree. It's a really terrible rate. But did you see what the dev said? Remember you posted that chat of the dev in the hex.com chat, and then he was asked the question, people are still sacrificing in Pulse. What's your personal opinion on that? He said, I'm really not sure if it's a good or bad thing. Do you remember him saying that?
I don't call that specifically, but yeah.
Well, it depends how long they hold it for. If they're buying it now and hold it for 10 years, they'll probably be fine.
So there's probably over 100. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's definitely over 150x penalty on the first day sacrifice. So look, I mean, if you just want to get into the set, and maybe the people who are in that set will get some sort of airdrop or bonus at some stage, who knows? I don't know. But if you want to get in, maybe you just sacrifice like $20 or something, like Bloobum said. But like, guys, you know,
so it's gonna cost you $20 to sacrifice your $20.
If you really
wait
want
till it comes out.
you're much better off just buying Hex right now.
Yeah. If you,
Exactly
So
right.
if you just want to, like Louis and Day43 said, if you want to just put your name on the list, so if any airdrops happen, you're in that list, fine. But know that that's just money down the gurgler. If you treat it like that, it's
Don't be one of these.
That's a lotto ticket.
Or
it's a scratch.
Louis,
Actually, it's more like a scratchy ticket.
Yeah. That's what it's like. It's like
well, hey, there's plenty of morons putting their money into pokies and all that rubbish. I want to go and I was at the surf club there the other day, and I was like, I'm going to just smash all these smokies out. All of these pokies are going to get removed, and I'm going to put a drum stand and put a back line in there and just get live musicians in, and they can just play whatever they want. And I don't care what gets served over the bar. You know,
you buy an RSL.
The problem with the pubs is they're so reliant on the revenue from the pokies, and gambling is just especially on those things. They're just stupid, completely retarded. I don't know why you put your money into those, but anyway,
all over Australia.
A little bit. I mean, you could put $50 in. You're better off, you know, like reading and learning about Hex and cryptocurrency and how innovative it is and how wonderful it is and how it's making the world a better place, and wasting your money putting them into one of those machines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But people do what they do. So what you can't help everyone.
Some people don't. A lot of the time, it's elderly people will go there because they've got nothing else to do, and they'll just go there and spend an evening.
True. I used to work at a servo. And I had a lady who worked at a pokey venue. She come in one night and she was telling me how sad it was that, you know, because it's open 24/7, she has the older people just come in and have a cup of coffee just because there's people around that can hear voices, you know, because some of these people are really, really lonely.
Loneliness.
Yeah. Sad, isn't it? And
ambient sociability. It's a type of...
Sorry, you go, Sammy.
One of the guys in the chat asked, can you explain DC dollar cost averaging, Jex? You're good at explaining that.
Well, it's not anything too difficult. It's just having a set time period. So let's say once a week you're going to buy Hex. You're not too worried about what the price is. One day it might be higher, one day it might be lower. Sorry, 1 week it might be higher, 1 week it might be lower. And you're not trying to time the market. You're just coming in at an average, repetitive, consistent pace, so that by the time you've gotten in, you've brought an average price along the whole way. It's smoothed out. So on the cheap days, you got it. Happy days. On the days you paid a little bit more, it lowers your cost base, so that you've just come in on a nice average kill.
Yeah.
What it means
just on payday, you had to allocate a certain amount on payday to your budget.
That's right. So it means you don't have to sit there and try and read charts or anything like that and try and pick bottoms or pick tops. You're just coming in at a consistent pace. It's reading charts to get good at it. It's going to take you years, and even those guys that are really good at it don't get it right all the time. So
you minimize your risk. So you minimize
you
minimize your downside, but you also minimize your upside.
Yep. Yeah.
It's like a long-term. It's a very good long-term strategy. Getting in.
Now, the only thing I would say against that at the moment is the fees on ETH mean that you've got to make your buy each time worthwhile. Otherwise, the fees in terms of a percentage of your investment might be high. So if you're doing a $500 investment and it's going to cost you $100 for a swap on Uniswap, well, financially that doesn't make sense. So that's the only thing I would suggest.
You're just better off doing it and staking, so you just start earning interest immediately.
Yeah, you want to build up enough to put into your stake though. Like, don't do small stakes. So it is that dollar cost average is going to take you, depending on your position, it's going to take you a little while to buy your hex and build up a big enough amount so that it's worthwhile staking. So if you wanted to stake hex, what would be the minimum amount of hex you would stake at the moment comfortably? Anyone want to have a crack at that?
That's a very tough question.
Say that again. Sorry, Jexxa, I missed that.
You don't really know. You don't really know what the Ethereum network is going to do. It's a really tough question to. I mean, we really do need Pulse ASAP.
We do.
You know, I would definitely get my hands on the hex though.
Yeah,
because you want to have that before the fork for sure. You know, so you can get your copy on the PulseChain.
Yep.
Like everyone's individual circumstances. If you've got more to invest, obviously ETH, you can afford to play a few more games on ETH. But if you're coming in from a lower point of view, or a smaller point of view, I should say, then PulseChain that's going to be an absolute cracker for you. You're going to love PulseChain when it comes out, because micro investing will be a thing again.
Yeah. Hey, how we go on the Oracle of the Week? I reckon we all got it wrong, did we? We're all
I reckon that's a given.
We were saying the bottom was in last week, and I don't know. I think I got that wrong as well. But anyway.
But thanks for reminding me while you guys are chatting. I'll get all that information together.
Hey, Bluey. I finished this book called The Sovereign Individual. I think you would like it, mate. I think you would like it. You should grab it and have a read, or you can get it on Audible.
I was having a read of that website that I think Jexxa, you might have put it up somewhere. The Sovereign.
Yeah.
Common law.
Common law. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a rabbit hole. It is a rabbit hole.
And another one that I finished a couple of days ago. It's called Anthem by I don't even know how to pronounce the name. It's AYN Rand. Rand.
Rand.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the author, you mean, Ayn Rand?
Yeah, that's the author. Have you heard of her?
Oh yeah. She's pretty famous. What's the name of her really popular book? The Fountainhead.
I've never heard of these.
Fountainhead.
I might have to go get that right now. The Fountainhead.
Yeah.
What's that about?
I haven't read it, but all I know is Ayn Rand is kind of a pretty divisive figure. But I don't know enough about it.
Well, I got home today, and my girlfriend was watching two people having sex on a train.
They're going for the trifecta. They're going for the trifecta, man. They're going for planes, trains, and automobiles.
Hey, what about that? I was like, oh, what are you doing there, young lady? Anyway.
So, hang on. What, your girlfriend, was a suburban train line, or we're talking?
Oh, I didn't look at it. I said, stop watching that smut. Get in here. Can't beat the real thing. And on that note, I'm gonna just pass it back.
I was happy to
know where I'm going
with
that.
I was quite interested to see where you were going to take it.
I did get lucky during the week, and I was in a public place, and and there were people around, and I had to, it was like I had to make a decision on the spot whether to down and go for it, or there's too many people around. And because apparently this girl said to me, I was talking about Hex, and she said, uNrekt, when you talk about money, it makes me really horny. I was like, I don't know. If you got it, you got it. Something like that.
We've got a few Ayn Rand fans in the chat here, so I'm onto a good thing then, hey?
Yeah, mate.
They're saying there's one called Atlas Shrugged as well.
Atlas Shrugged, right?
So this is all. Is it
I think-
fiction or?
Well, I think Ayn Rand has been
Fiction.
used. Yeah, she's been used. Her ideas have been used for kind of fascistic ideas as well.
Mhm.
You know, but I can't. I'm not gonna. I haven't read any of her stuff. I don't know it well enough.
Well, the one that I just finished is called Anthem. It's very, very short, but it's about this like sort of like this dystopian future where they've just gone backwards as far as technology. Everything's been lost, and they're just really strict. And it's about everyone. It's not about the self. It's not about you. It's not about it's about we and everyone else. So you can't like even think about yourself. You've just got to think about the greater good for everyone.
Okay.
And it's just this story about
That's a cultural
this
thing,
guy.
That is a cultural thing.
It's a story about this guy who basically escapes this society, and he finds some technology. He finds like electricity, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing. And it's not your normal sort of story. It's like very. I don't know how to describe it. I haven't really read anything like it before.
So like
It's interesting.
like Brave New World, the Aldous Huxley type stuff.
No, but this is not.
Futures.
No, but this is like they're in the Stone Age. You get like they're just really happy that they've got candles and shit. Like they're all like they're working in the fields, and like guys and girls can't hang out together, and they to have kids, they get to see each other like once a year, and like no one. And then they don't get to like bring up their kids. The kids get taken away from them straight away. Like just all sorts of like really weird shit. But it was very interesting. And I'm like, yeah, you sort of, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to bring it back to anything political, but it's an interesting at this point in time, as where we are in Australia. I just found it an interesting read.
There you go. You've had a request there, day 43, to you can become a storyteller, and we have a book club with day 43, and you can read extracts out of the out of the good book.
So I think someone, on that note, someone is actually reading Sci-Vive as well. I think they're
narrating it.
Yeah, someone. I noticed there was something on YouTube come up the other day where someone's actually going through and reading chapters of it, I believe. Like
they're actually reading it, or they got a computer to translate text?
No, I thought it was
voice.
I thought they were reading it. I could be wrong. I just it just popped up in my feed momentarily. I didn't go back and really watch it all, but yeah. So that might be something you can have a look for as well. I haven't checked it out, but I think it's there. So I've got the price, the price stuff up. Do you want to do that now, or you want to wait?
Yeah, righto. So
We'll do it now, yeah.
For a law will go out from me, and my justice I will establish as a light to the peoples. My righteous draws near, my salvation will go out, and my arms will judge the peoples. There you go.
My cashew clicks. I think it was
Isaiah 16.
Was the name of the book? Cashew.
Yeah, I'm writing it.
All right.
Skyvive. Get rich, be loved, live forever. Love it. Mind, the body, the spirit, the money, the respect, the power, the schedule, the time, environment. Yeah, so Richard Hart wrote a self-help book called Skyvive, and it's a great read too. But I do like that what you're saying about the greater good and the consciousness and the way the water flows, the river, and swim with the current or swim against the current. Like there's so much stuff going on in the Twitter space. I go on there and have a look for 2 minutes, and that I'm done. Anyway, not sure what we're talking about. We're going into the Oracle of the Week.
Oracle of the Week. All right, we've got a few contenders here. One who was almost disqualified because he didn't put the right price format in. I nearly missed it, but I've picked it up at the last minute. So You want to share that? So the price is 16,598, I believe, which makes D-Bro. D-Bro will be the Oracle of the week at 17 flat.
D-Bro,
Wow.
where are you, mate? Where are you, bro?
I saw him before.
Come on, mate. Show your face. Where
I
are
can
you?
see. D-Bro's made a comment before, so he's in the house. So D-Bro is the Oracle. Are you still with us, mate?
Congrats. Congratulations.
Throw a comment up there. Yeah, he's up there.
Yay.
And we've got honourable mentions to Raj and HP Morgan, both at 16. So that was a pretty good effort. And they were just pipped really by percentage points there. And for the team vote for the late show vote, Day 43 has finally managed to sneak in and take the win there at 23 cents.
There you go.
The rest of us, miles off.
Oh, my God.
I'm way too bullish.
Yeah, I was way off. I was on the hopium bong last week.
And Red Squirrel threw a bomb out there just in case at 75 cents.
So congratulations, D-Bro, Oracle of the week.
Well done. I'll get the link ready for sharing as well, so we can do this all over again. Where are we?
Thanks, Oracle. Good on you, D-Bro. That's fantastic. I'm happy for you.
All right, Sammy, I think I'm going to need you to paste this link out in chat for me.
Can you put it in our chat and I'll paste it?
I'll put it in private chat. Is that all right?
No, I don't have it.
I'll
do it.
You guys can do it. Cool. Thank you.
I'm done. There you go.
Oh, right. Never know.
Okay.
Okay, so
What do we reckon? What do we reckon? We're going up. And sideways again for another week, or I think I saw a worthy comment or two around that. What do you guys think about the where we might go? We're gonna go around and make a call when we're gonna see a reverse trend.
Yep. So is everyone getting their votes in? I'll chuck mine in as well, and then we can.
You know what I reckon? I've done some thinking, and I believe a lot of people are actually scared, or maybe uneducated about what a fork is and what's going to happen. And they don't. Yeah, maybe they've seen the price go down because so many people got in going up, and as Richard Hart says, they only buy when it's going up because they're new to crypto, and we know better that you don't buy when it's going up. So they're new to crypto, and then, it starts going down. They're thinking, oh, my God, I'm losing money. I'm just going to sell, and panic sell, right? And that's what people are doing now. I mean, I've had nasty messages from people.
Really?
Why?
Yeah. This one dude I got in started messaging me about a month ago saying, oh, I put X in and now it's only worth X. I've lost money. And I'm trying to sell it, and I haven't got enough Ethereum, even though I've put a couple of $100 in there worth, and blah blah blah. I said, okay, well, sell if you want, but that's crypto. And I said to you, you've got to only put in what you can afford to lose. And I said it can go up, it can go down. It's highly volatile. But he was giving it to me, and in the end, he just was at me, and I just ended up telling him, look, it was your choice. At the end of the day, I warned you. If you don't like it, you shouldn't be in crypto because you've got to be able to handle this. And then I just told him to piss off.
So the Ethereum fees might be the things that save him.
Yeah, I mean, he can't sell it because he hasn't got enough Ethereum.
Exactly.
That would be poetic in a way.
I think it's pushing it up. You know what you guys were saying when they're trying to sell it? It's pushing it up, the price up of the Ethereum.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when you're right, Sammy, so that no one likes to buy until it's going up. They need that. The time when you should buy is when it's the hardest to push the button.
Yeah.
When it's really hard to push the button, that's when you should be buying. But people will want to see that bit of a reversal, and then they'll go, I'm not sure if it's going to come back down again, and they'll wait a little bit longer, and then they'll see it pump up another So they'll probably lose a good 30 or 40% before they even look like entering the market. They'll want to see confirmation that there's been a trend reversal and everyone's back on board. And that's when everyone...
But that isn't it a shame? Isn't it a shame? Because that's just not how you... That's not... I mean, look, this is not financial advice. I got to throw it out there. All I can tell you is that I bought Bitcoin all the way down from 20 grand down to 3 grand, all the way down, you know, and my only regret was buying it too early, and you know, but I'm glad I did, because at the end of the day, you don't know when the bottom's going to be. So you know, you just don't know where that bottom's going to be. So you don't want to blow your load too early, but you don't want to, you know, miss out on the opportunity, like too much of an opportunity.
Yeah, because that time that you wait too long, the price runs away from you.
As long as you get your end away.
And we've seen that in Hex so many times.
Yeah.
So like right now, I mean, I've purchased this week a couple of times. So and you know, believe you me, I don't need to, but I just can't help myself. I see a good price. I see a good price, and I've got it. You know,
ultimately, Honto.
I've got to pull the trigger.
That's it.
Yeah. It's like when you go into the supermarket and you see at the end of the aisle, they've got 40 rolls of toilet paper at 30% off. You've just got to get it.
I'd buy it. That's me too, Jex.
There you go.
Here's the cupboard.
Everyone has their triggers. For Jexxa, it's the toilet paper.
They can never have enough toilet paper.
That is true.
That is one of the highest appreciating assets of this year.
Wow. We've seen how stupid.
Yeah, have you seen the new? Have you seen the Safe Roll? That's a new project coming out.
Safe Roll.
All right. So what's everyone's pick for the week? I've got 19.5.
Wow, that's exactly what I put.
I put 22. Really? Yeah, I've got 22.
I know this is sub-mil FUD. I said 25. Sammy?
Really? 0.109, bros. I'm always a bear compared to you guys.
10 cents, you reckon?
10 cents.
I know. I'm prepared for it to go down. Like, people are too nervous before the fork. They're just trying to sell.
I can't see Richard Hart standing up doing a keynote speech or something.
If it goes down to 10 cents. Sorry, uNrekt, I interrupted you.
No, sell your car, mate. Yeah, I'll be like, oh no, I would never part with my Land Rovers, but for Hex. But yeah, I will. Yeah, I would think I would do other things to get that opportunity. I
haven't got a nice Land Rover, mate. I've just got a Honda, so I'll happily part with my Honda.
It's not a nice one. It's not a nice one. It's a 1975 Series 3 109. But anyway,
you could do OnlyFans, uNrekt Pirate. You could do OnlyFans.
Nah, I'm not into that. I do have photographic evidence of certain things that occurred during the week. But anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, I think we're going to see it. I don't know. Look, it's hard to say, but I just can't see Richard Hart standing up on the Hex 731, which is the 2-year anniversary of the Hex coin launch, and saying, "Oh, look, we're on an 85% dip at the moment." Blah blah blah. You know, I can't see that being part of the speech. I think what I'm just sort of gauging from some of the sentiment now is that there's a fair bit of big money, the whale money, on the sidelines at the moment, just getting ready to rattle out the I don't know, the paper hands, the weak hands, as they say. I don't know how.
When is
I
that
don't get into. Hey.
When is that meetup?
On the 2nd of December, which was the 2-year anniversary of the launch.
We're gonna start pumping a week before that.
Exactly, that's what I was saying. 22nd of this. 22nd. We're gonna start pumping. Maybe the 18th of the 11th. That's what that cryptic tweet was. That's when the Tibetan monks will all buy in at once.
Did you see?
Hey,
did you see?
Free to bet. Yeah.
You see Hodl Dog's tweet with all those market buys that were at 5 cents? Remember those big thick walls of market buys they had?
Yeah.
5 or
Yeah.
6 cents that's there, waiting to get
The
bought
limit
up.
orders, yeah.
Are we having a show and tell? Are we? You still want me to do that show and tell?
Go on.
Or should we wait for tangent?
So-
No, it was tangent's
so-
idea. We'll wait for tangent. I can tell you a story. I did get robbed during the week again last week, unfortunately.
So hang on.
Robbed
Is this
again.
Yeah.
you for real?
Oh, I've got a letter here for you, Bo. I've got a letter here
Yeah.
from Her Majesty's Secret Service as well, Bluey. I meant to send it to you. I meant to send you a thing.
Okay,
I don't know
cool.
what that, but I'll talk to you later off the stream.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So we're not doing the multiple choice, one correct, one false, or
Ooh.
one fake.
I haven't really prepared anything. But
Okay, no, that's all right. No,
I do have a story. I did get robbed, and this comes back to making sure you protect your seed phrases and your crypto vigilantly. I actually thought I came back to the hood. I was away for a couple of days, and I came back, and I noticed that the front door was wide open, and I was like, oh, that's strange. So I walk in, and yeah, sure enough, TV's gone, a few other bits and pieces. Oh well. And then I'm like, the dumb fucks have stolen me wheelie bin. I'm like, why the? So anyway, so that's one of the.
Oh, a wheelie bin.
Why would you steal someone's wheelie bin?
Yeah, bloody
that's retarded.
Queenslanders.
This is Logan. This is from the Logan
This is
place.
of course, yes.
Are you back in Logan?
Well, it's a long story, Sammy, but I came back here for a little bit. Yeah.
Mm.
Obviously, I can't afford to live the lavish lifestyle of a Hexagon that flies around the world jet setting. You know, I've got to live on a budget, and I've got all my steaks, all my Hex cooking on the 3 gas burners staked away, burning away. So I'm like, I've got to be. I'm not out there like living large and doing all these things. So yeah, I did come back to Logan. It was a bit of a but yeah, that was true. My wheelie bin was stolen.
See, that would that just makes you think, why move back to Logan? That's what, the 3rd time in 12 months.
And the other story was that well, I sort of mentioned it before about the young lady saying to me that when I talk about money, it makes her horny, and I had to, and she was like, really, like, did like, the George Costanza where he used to live under the desk, and it was like in one of those, like a WeWork or somewhere, like a shared workspace, a commercial building during the week, people around, and I had to make that decision. I had to drop me DAX and give her the plow. Right there, and that's the other truth. That's the other story. Now you have to guess which one's true and which one isn't true.
They're both true.
That's typical.
No, they didn't steal my wheelie bin. They wheeled it around the back to climb in the window. There you go.
Well done. Well done.
So anyway, moving right along. Coming up to time, are we? Or
I can't believe you got robbed again, mate. That's like 3 times in 1 year.
That's crazy.
No, it's actually 7 times. Day 43. I had 2 guitars stolen. I had 2 guitars stolen about 3 weeks ago as well.
Mate, you need.
And I've got to change all the locks.
You need security guards.
Yeah, you need to move away from that place, mate.
CCTV, mate.
It's not the kind of place that looks like it'd be worth stealing, though.
Mate, anything not bolted down, basically. And the only reason it's here is because mechanical craft and which is peripheral skill, like beautiful. I love mechanics and I love people that work with their hands and do all that stuff. That I have to take that Series 3 in to get it finished off. I've had the sheet over it for 2 or 3 years while I've been getting involved in the cryptocurrency, and the only time I could book it in was in January. So it's just here renting the place while I until January, and then after that, hopefully everything of mine will be out again. And this is just from a little bit of a complicated, messy separation, divorce type situation. But yeah, anyway, that's enough about me. It's not about me. It's all about Hex, and Hex is bigger than all of us. It's great. It's a wonderful product, and I'm doing really well. This dip to me is, again, it's just like Day 43 says, permeable. It's buying opportunity, or if you're new, even if you already got your position, it's just a hold point. Don't get shaken out. Don't get shaken out. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you and I understand about people have special needs or whatever, but like Hex is it's good. We care about the community, we care about each other, and I think we care about the price, we care about the number going.
Yeah. Have a good look at the chart. Have a good look at the chart over the last
long
2
term.
years.
Zoom out.
Yeah, just look at that chart and look at how many dips there have been over the course of the last 2 years. They have been consistent,
and
they've been decent.
And it's these people. It's these people who are selling now, which end up like benefiting us long-termers, because it's all their choppiness while we're just collecting the interest from the inflation of the coin. Like, and their
buying
takes them out.
Their weak hands.
Like, if you look at how many stakers there are and the average length of all the stakes, it's still going up.
You don't jump off the roller coaster mid-ride, do you? You wait till you've been on for all the fun.
Yeah.
That's right. There's so much exciting stuff coming. Like,
that's a really good quote, Jexxa. You should write that one down.
Double chain. It's going to be awesome. There's going to be so much to talk about and do. Just, don't be silly and sell off. Just kick back. It's not financial advice, but don't do anything crazy,
So, Sammy, I want to pick up on something you said, Sammy. So you obviously had that guy whinging in your ear, and he's obviously a bit of a noob anyway. But do you think on the Twitters and in the Telegrams and all that, do you think we've seen enough? Because usually what happens is you get a wave of everyone being really negative, and that is the point in time when that is, okay, the market's about to reverse. Because when it's at the top, everyone's going, oh, this thing's going to go on forever. It's never going to stop. When at the bottom, it's, this is never going to stop dropping. And both of those signify a top and a bottom. Do you think we've had enough?
Or maybe it has to go into the kind of despair, depression phase.
Yeah, so are we there yet?
Yeah, I think they're looking for someone to blame. I really don't think they should be in crypto because they don't have the nuts for it, because it's stomach churning, those swings.
That's part of what Bluey's saying there. That's the cycle.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Did you see
that young Hex is tweet about Freddie quotes? I mean, what a wanker! Like, why carry on like that? He's going off. Thanks, Hex OGs, for making the price dip right after you do a video of dancing on someone's grave. Like, fuck off. You weren't around like at the start, and it's got nothing to do with a dip. Like, seriously, pull yourself together and stop tweeting like a moron, because it just makes them look like fools.
Hey, 10 Alexa 10.
Oh, you got to get it out though. Let them tweet. Let them be angry. Whatever.
That's all right.
Like, get it out.
Yeah, everyone,
and someone as smart as Freddie quotes it should be water off a duck's back.
Oh, it will be, and I'm not saying it's not, but there's also it's social media, not in unsociable media.
I wouldn't go that far, Sammy. That's a stretch.
You should go on. You should talk to Freddie Quates and go on the steak and bake. You like
I don't do drugs.
Stop, actually. No, stop. I'm all clean now.
Same here. I'm a very mature woman, and so I don't do drugs. But you guys, are funny. I did actually watch yous, not you guys this week, but the last time I did have a look. It's always a bit of fun. I know, but
anyway,
I don't do it because I'm a good girl.
Anyway, what else?
Right, we're gonna wrap it up, fellas.
Yeah, no, is Day 43 with us? Or?
I think so. What do you reckon? I noticed that if we keep it around an hour and a half, that our engagement is up. So should we wind up the show? And hopefully we'll see how we go this week with our clickbait.
Do you think Day 43 is going to come back and we'll all be gone and you won't know what's happened?
I'm here. I'm listening.
He's in stealth mode. The baby, Jack.
He's in stealth mode.
I was just wondering whether maybe there's like a what's a drink that rhymes with steak? Like
milkshake.
Steak.
Yeah, a steak and shake.
Steak and shake
instead of a steak and bake.
For me,
maybe there can be another stream, a sister stream, where you put a little bit of vodka in your milkshake and. have a White Russian.
It's been a lot of fun. We've had over 100 viewers live with us today. We do appreciate all you guys supporting the Discourse Syndicate Network and the things they're doing over there with all the other streamers. And it's great thing to be a part of. And look, we just come on every week and we talk about Hex and we be ourselves. And I really do appreciate you guys sharing and imparting that knowledge on us on all of our. The audience today, and if you're watching us in the future, or if nothing of this sometimes doesn't make sense, a lot of people that I know say to me when I tell them about the show that they try to watch it and it's probably a little bit too much for them, or perhaps I don't know why, but maybe those little shortcuts sections of educational videos that other streamers do, and Jexxa has been doing a lot of training stuff and security and some of the other stuff about the PulseChain fork and things like that. So the information's out there, really available, and it's at our fingertips. It really is, and that's the world we live in now. And you really should do yourself and your family and friends, everyone that you know, just the awareness and knowledge of Hex crypto. It really is a game changer. It's a true innovation. The world has never seen anything like this. Trustless interest, triple audit security, 100% uptime. The asset's been performing amazingly. I don't know. I don't listen to all the whinges about the price dip or whatever.
We are in a bit of a dip. We are in a bit of a dip.
But that's an opportunity.
It's a buying
to get
opportunity.
It's a buying opportunity, exactly. So, horses for courses. But everyone, look, it's been a great little chat, and I'm sorry I sort of interrupted a few people. Some of the conversations that we were having today, just my gag stuff, the usual thing. Pirating, whatever you want to call it. It's not easy. See, it's harder than it looks, isn't it? But it's great.
And a big thank you to everyone in the chat. We appreciate your participation. And once again, congratulations to D-Bro on being the Oracle of the Week. That is quite an honor that's been bestowed upon you. Cherish it. You've got 7 days until we see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.